everyone, Day here bringing you the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. Yes, it is finally here. I have been waiting an awfully long time. It feels like almost forever for this game, and I want to say that it's only been, only is very strongly used here, but I believe this game originally came out in 2015 for the 3DS over in Japan. It's never been officially localized. The mobile version for Android and iOS, I believe, came out in 2017 with the fan translation being primarily for Android. I have an iPhone, so unfortunately I was unable to actually even try to play it. Did buy the game though. So if there was ever a patch that I could utilize over it, I didn't know how. So I do know a little bit about the main character. I believe his name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm not really sure if that's the right order in which to say his name, but I believe that is his name. And outside of that, it's like he doesn't start off as a defense attorney. It's more so that his best friend is the defense attorney, and he later becomes one down the line of each case or something. So it's going to be a journey for all of us aboard. So I know that I haven't ever streamed any of the Ace Attorney games. I'm sorry about that. I've just played them so many times I didn't see any need to do so on my channel. And since no one actually asked for it, I figured that everyone else has probably seen or played the game in some way as well. But with that said, and of course you could always go to someone else's channel and watch the other Ace Attorney games. I mean, it's always a possibility, you know? They're out there somewhere, guaranteed. But anyways, for me personally, I am going to hop into the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles. No need to sway away from this right now.
The Empire of Japan. After opening its doors, a push for cultural transformation brought great waves of Western influence to this far eastern island nation. The revolution washed over the land, making life in the capital exciting and unsettling. It was a period of great change, and some was swept away by the tide.
I see. So I guess they're saying, like, not necessarily cultural appropriation or anything, but whoa. But like they took a lot of Western values over in Japan, I guess is what that's, you know, leaning towards.
But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
It almost looks like he has the defense attorney's badge right there on his collar. Episode 1, The Adventure of the Great Departure. I cannot say what's at the bottom. I'm sorry. I believe that was French. I did have French for about 4 to 5 years. Unfortunately, it never progressed more than a few phrases all the time. Okay. 22nd November, 8:43 a.m. That is a British way of reading, or just, you know, an across the pond way of reading the dates. For me, an American, that is not normally how we read it. Supreme Court Adjudicature, Defendants Antechamber 5. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. That literally sums up my entire feelings of this moment. That's literally how I feel. But before I continue on any further too, I do want to take notice of the environment. We do have judges atop the wall. There's also some kind of board hanging on the wall. It looks like the light has a soft glow to it too, like it flickers. That's a nice touch. And it looks different from the normal courtrooms that we're used to. I just assume this has to be the courtroom. I could be completely wrong, but I feel like that has to be a nice guess, since I do believe that those portraits are judges. How can it be that just beyond the doors to this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? Oh yes, because you shot the sheriff, or whoever that fine gentleman was, or rather, let me not even say that, because I don't want to persecute you. I don't know what's going on exactly. Why did you have the gun? Is this an Edgeworth situation all over again? Edgeworth picked up the gun. Spoilers. He picked up the gun though without even thinking about it and put his fingerprints all over the weapon. So, wait a second. In this time period, do they have fingerprint powder? Because I remember in Ace Attorney, I would only say that they made it seem like fingerprint powder was like this new invention or something. So 2 generations passed. I don't know if that will be a thing. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares. Murderer! Sorry. That doesn't feel good enough, Ryunosuke. Like, you have to tell them. You have to say, I didn't do it. I didn't. My name is Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. Yume, I'm not 100% sure. 3 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. I believe this is his best friend. Name unknown to me right now. Lawyer? Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. I actually like the font in this game. I wasn't always keen on the font that they used for the other games in the trilogy, but I do like this font. And I do feel like it fits. It's very suiting. Technicalities. Look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. Whispers of the wind. His headband is flying. Look at it. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Ryunosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, I suppose that wasn't my fault. But, really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you into this. I'm sorry. There you go again, apologizing. I have that same issue. It's like, even if it's not even by my own doing, I will still try to apologize for it. I can't stop. It's a bad habit. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not! You have to believe me, I didn't do it! I could never murder someone. Then there's nothing to worry about. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Ryunosuke. Kazuma Asogi, my best friend, also in his second year at Yume University. But he's far more clever than I. A star student, in fact. He's even a qualified lawyer. Impressive considering he's still an undergraduate. It's not that impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much. Yet. This is something I want to look more into. So, it's like, the court system for Japan, they're saying is only 2 generations old, or maybe I have it mixed up in that this isn't just Phoenix's great. Maybe he's older than that. I'm not 100% sure, but that's why I want to do research. Learning is fundamental, and I want to learn. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have you as a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. I'm surprised it didn't just happen yesterday. I feel like they're definitely giving you more time than they do in like regular old modern day Ace Attorney. It's usually like someone dies and like they're like 2 days basically after they get killed. The next day is investigation. Then the next day after that, we're in the court. So the fact that you got an extra day is like startling to me. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. It looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I've been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. I'm really happy for you and proud as your friend. There's not a soul in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. He's a living legend. It's like there's some mysterious aura billowing around his temple. Is that why his headband is like always fluttering in the wind? And I find it interesting that the main character's name is Ryunosuke because he reminds me of a Street Fighter character. I'm just saying. I want to bring about the change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire. I wish I could see it. God, whatever. Wrong voice though. I wish I could see it too. Then come with me. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. Not something I think you want to pursue, considering what you're trying to achieve. He said a wild time tearing up the city of Her Highness. If only it were that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. Okay, so I think that matters. English class. We're learning English, and say that because we're also going to go to I'm pretty sure we're going to Britain because we're going to meet Sherlock Holmes. Oh, for goodness sakes. It was straight after that. That's when it happened. Asogi, may I have a word? Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, this case has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. Asogi, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? But why? He was looking for you before. You advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. It seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I feel as though I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once then. I shall accompany you. Alright then, Ryunosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes. Thanks, Kazuma. She's nice. She didn't actually say hello or anything, but I guess bowing is a sign of acknowledgement. It could be a hello in its own way. Again, more research needs to be done. This is awkward. Is that a Furby on his stomach? I know it isn't, but what? If I may. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes, that's right. I guess the eagerness is hereditary. My name is Yujin Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yume University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard that name from Kazuma before. As I recall, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Asogi has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. So, as far as the fact that this game over here and translated in America actually is keeping the Japanese names and the Japanese culture and everything is in hamburgers, ramen, it's kind of interesting because, I mean, obviously the whole entire everything takes place in Japan. Always has, always will. But as far as how they Americanized, you know, the trilogy and Apollo Justice and all that stuff, it's just, it kind of breeds its own lore a little bit, if you will. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? I think for Ryunosuke, I will mostly use closer to my own voice because there's going to be a lot of different characters to, you know, so I might as well just try to stick with my own voice for at least one character. And so Ryunosuke is going to be it. Well, as you've no doubt heard, Asogi has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if he should fail to defend you in today's trial, I'm afraid that the permission will be revoked and never granted again. What? As I suspected, you were unaware of this. I had a feeling that Sogi may have chosen not to tell you. Yeah. He's agreed to defend me knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered. But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas study. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favorable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I need someone to defend me. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I can assure you that proving your innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. I don't know how I feel about this, chum. I don't know. I'm always doubtful of certain people when I first see them, though. I always am. But then what should I do? Well, naturally, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to a conviction. Conviction. Right, so as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. Is this a wedding? Is this an arranged marriage? I know. I know it's not. You must say, I do. What question would the judge ask to allow... What question would the judge ask where this gentleman here will want us to say, I do to it? Is the defense ready? I do, though. Because I think that's like one of the first questions anyways. Like something around the word, the terms of the judge will ask the defense, is the defense ready? But I do is not the proper response. So it has to be phrased differently or something. But what would the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? It's a valid concern. It really is, especially if this is his first time ever being in court. Of course not. Of course not. Do you accept the accusations? Defendant! Court is about to begin. Proceed to the courtroom at once. It would seem our surreptitious discussions are to be cut short. Yeah, sure, sir, sure. I don't know, that purple Furby on his shirt literally throws me completely off. It's like, all his colors are fine, except for that. So allow me to summarize. You didn't even tell me what the question was going to be. Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. Jeez Louise, oh Pete! Give me a second. Like, literally, you just said it. Can I get the time to get my legs up and moving? Jeez. This is it. If this trial goes badly, the fact that they went black and white, you could tell that this is a very serious moment right here. Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. And what's more, I will be found guilty of murder. It's all bad. That's why he has to win. And so, like, are we literally going to try to listen to this guy? With absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. Because if that's the case, then... Because I don't think Phoenix Wright wanted to be... He did not wish to be a defense attorney, like, immediately. He had other, like, dreams and ambitions that he was, like, aiming for. He went to college for other stuff, but... That I can't fully recall. I remember things that happened, but I can't quite recall what he was going to college for exactly. Now that's gonna bother me a bit. My one and only chance of proving my innocence, the trial that would decide my destiny. Well, let's hope it goes well. Because at this point, what it sounds like, you're gonna have to defend yourself. Because the guy does not wish for Asogi to do the defending. And I guess that's like insurance to make sure that Asogi is still able to leave off to Great Britain. Screw me and my needs of not going to prison. It's all about Asogi here in the future of Japan learning about Great Britain, I guess. 22nd November, 9 a.m. Supreme Court Adjudicature, Courtroom 2. Well, it's more like Judicature. So this is a courtroom. The Supreme Court of Judicature. No court in the land has more power. I don't much like the look of those people sitting in the public gallery. I mean, they all kind of have the same expression. Okay, I will be nervous. Like, the fact that we kind of get, like, his perspective on things, like, this is all fine animation. And that's the thing that I did notice about, like, the 3DS games in comparison to, like, even the trilogy or I guess, considering the 3D art, I'm going to say the Apollo trilogy. Like, starting from Apollo, well, I guess Spirit of Justice and that. This feels more expressive. It's always felt more expressive to me. Like, I felt like sometimes it was more a step back, whereas this was definitely a step forward in the right direction as far as, you know, different techniques you could use even in, like, investigations and stuff. The investigations feel fun from what I've seen. Like, you didn't really get that in, like, Spirit of Justice and stuff. It was very static. This feels already more alive than that. This is more akin to Phoenix Wright versus, or Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, where you had the gallery and you had the witnesses and stuff, and you could, like, choose which witnesses to address. I wish the other future Ace Attorneys did that, and I hope that future Ace Attorneys will actually do that. If we get any future ones, because we still have heard nigh high any news of any other ones. Lots of military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. A secret trial? A trial that's closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. Well, that makes this even more scary, darn it. What? But why? It'll become clear in time. But for now... Ooh, you need to concentrate, Ryunosuke. It's about to begin. I am not going to have any cartoon crushes this time. Like, I had the hugest crush on Edgeworth, the hugest crush on Gaddett. I am not going to do it again. The judge is trim.
The court will now hear the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo.
Oh my goodness, he is not a old fogey like we have in the future. This guy is young and in charge.
The prosecution is ready, Your Excellency.
I'm sorry, his voice is going to have to get annoying. Ouchie.
As is the defense. Before we begin, there is one point of order I would like to confirm. Yesterday evening, the defense made a last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Excellency.
Alex, why am I struggling? Your Excellency, I made the request myself.
Normal procedure is for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I am obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial?
Oh, it makes sense now. This is the question. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? I do. No! This is totally, the same way that Phoenix had to defend himself. Oh, dearie. Is this black and white thing going to be a lot of... is this going to happen quite a bit? Because it's awesome. This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor meant. But then, if I say I do... I like that time slows down and you have enough time to think about all this stuff and dog on Asogi says nothing. I need to answer quickly. What should I do? Hey, we're going. We're going to do it.
Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, I hope it's clear who will advocate for him.
Is he wearing a ring? His eyes! I love him already.
What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that Ryunosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself.
He just looks so freaking terrified. It is cute.
You'll do what? What are you playing at, Ryunosuke? Professor Mikatoba told me everything just now before the trial.
He did what?
He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were to lose. How sad. It means you don't have faith in me. You think I won't be able to get you off.
No! It's not that, really. It's just that, well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you...
Yes.
Oh, his animation sprite is just mwah, chef's kiss. I know that for a lot of people, I probably gush about like animation that's like third tier rate in comparison to like say PS5, Xbox Series X graphics, but I don't care. Like, this is still good to me, okay? Like, I love it. Like, the way he turns his head, the way that the freaking hairband is always blowing in the breeze. Yes, I love it.
I knew that's how you feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikatoba shouldn't have stuck his nose in.
I can't stop smiling. I already love this game to a billion pieces.
Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial.
Well. Does the accused admit defeat already, renouncing his own counsel, really?
Objection!
Powerful. The first objection. Okay, I'm going to stop.
Make no mistake, Consul. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent, he's confident he can speak for himself.
Oh, Kazuma, to have a Kazuma in your life, that is a beautiful sentence. This
Isn't that so? Naruhodo-san.
Are we really doing this? Wow, they literally capped. Wow, okay. I love it. I love this game already. I love it. Oh, yes, exactly. And especially him. Like, Ryunosuke's eyes. The terror. Like, he's just looking at all the military officials. Like, me as a oh my gosh. As someone with social anxiety up the kazoo, I relate wholeheartedly to Ryunosuke. In fact, I couldn't say anything. I wouldn't have been able to even utter a word in this audience. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's a complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered.
Well, for a mere university student to be brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed.
As you are no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, the very highest standards of conduct are expected of all present. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo?
Yes, Your Excellency.
It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you have undertaken.
Yes.
My competence? What does that mean?
He's questioning your ability to do the job.
Well, he can't be questioning it more than I am.
So let's start with the very simplest of questions.
Yes.
Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case.
Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. I have crickets going off in my own head, so it's nice that you're so confident. But, wait. He's so adorable! Look at his face! I'm so nervous I can't even remember that. What was it again?
Ryunosuke. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank? You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record.
But I can't even find that. Yeah, I don't think it's available to me yet.
It's simple. You can access the court record with a press of R. If you ever find yourself, or if you've ever found...
Wow, I am totally butchering this statement. If you ever find you've forgotten something, just consult that. It's all in there. I just have to press R for the court record. Alright. There's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now try switching to people instead with the R button. You'll find details about the victim in here. When you're done, just press B to go back. Okay, so we have Kazuma Sogi, age 23, a second year at the Imperial Yume University. He's my best friend and despite being a student, a qualified defense lawyer as well. Yujin Mikotoba, he's 42, a medical school professor at the Imperial Yume University. He's an authority in forensic medicine and Kazuma's mentor. Taketsuchi Auchi, I think. Taketsuchi Auchi, 51. The lead prosecutor of this case, who would appear to have little love for the changes the Cultural Reformation has brought about. John H. Wilson, very American name, or Western name, because I think he's British. The victim of this case, he was a visiting professor of medicine at Yume University for the British Empire, 47.
So remember, everything to do with the current case can be found in the court record. Now, you better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer. Go on. Find the victim in the people section of the court record, then press X to present. Try it now.
Yes! The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson.
Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university.
Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England, invited to Yume University 3 years ago.
3 years. So he had time to find get someone to hold a grudge against him.
Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire is at present our country's most valuable foreign ally. And as most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation.
And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt on our soil. You two are both undergraduates at the Imperial Humane University, are you not? Murdering a professor from the very institution that provides your education. Have you no honor?
But I didn't do it. This case is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on the other side of the world. The court therefore wishes for a speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policymakers.
Whew, you got some big balls, Kazuma. Chill.
And you're a convenient and expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime.
So that basically this whole case is going to be accelerated, is what you're getting at. So I guess at this point I can assume that, like other first trials of Ace Attorney, we're not leaving this courtroom until we come to a resolution. Is what I can try to understand from this. Just based off of pretty much every trial up to date. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, is it?
Exactly. Our government needs to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman.
Are they zooming in on him? Oh my gosh, it's so good. I love that I could see Phoenix in him too. The artist did a great job.
But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here.
His eyes.
The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. Oh dear, look at the time. I better get going.
Oh yeah, he did leave.
Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a little longer.
True.
Good idea. After all, it's not every day you get to visit a high-class Western restaurant like this. See you in English class tomorrow then, partner. And then he disappears. The British Empire. Wow. It's incredible to think. Wait. Oh. He was 2 tables over. I've seen that man at university. I'm sure he's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello.
I thought Watson was the little girl though.
So I went over to the professor's table.
Oh, you actually went over to him and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson.
Well, his name is Dr. Wilson and not Watson. For some reason I thought it was Watson.
Also, the lack thereof of periods after Doctor, Mr. and all that stuff might throw me off a little bit because, again, over here in the good old America, we actually use periods after that kind of thing.
Now then, let me pose my next question to you, Defendant Naruhodo.
Yes, Your Excellency.
How did this professor of medicine, Dr. John H. Wilson, lose his life? State before the court the cause of death.
The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was,
Post-mortem report. Death occurred a little after 2 p.m. and was caused by a loss of blood from a gunshot to the chest. The bullet did not pass through the victim's body. Oh, he took it with him then. Ryunosuke. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up by evidence. By evidence? But how? Find the piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death and select present. Do it now!
yes!
Yes! Well...
Oh, he has papers! I know, I keep gushing. I can't help it, though. Every time he shows me something new, I like it.
According to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma.
Learn to read, you imbecile! That's the post-mortem report, I take it.
Sorry. Yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, a doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions that way. Oh, I see. As long as I'm not going to be tested on any of this later.
Huh. See, some more things I need to research, and I can't read either, so you know what? We're all in the same boat here.
This is a so-called photographic print. of the scene of the crime.
Oh, so photography is awesome.
You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion.
Yes, because that doesn't look like a ketchup stain. Or A1 steak sauce, anyone? No? Okay.
In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range.
Close range, eh?
Thank you, Consul. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record.
The photographic print of the victim has been entered into the court record. Okay, a photographic print that shows the victim. He was shot from the front in the chest and subsequently died. So that's a photographic print. Well, that's something I've never seen before. Oh, wow, that's your first picture ever? It's clearly superior to a drawing. The detail is incredible. I want to say in Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright, it really was art, drawings and stuff that they were using at that time.
Very well. I am satisfied with your answers. Let us start the trial.
Well, we didn't even officially start the trial yet, and we're 40 minutes in.
Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness, who was there at the scene of the crime when it happened.
This is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikatoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me, but that doesn't mean... Well, I can still act as your assistant. Ah, of course! When he was speaking with me before, he simply said, Kazuma Asogi must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Oh my god, as long as he keeps his oars away from, yeah. Maybe, but any help you can give me will be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the cold sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy hairband and control the cold stares first. The hairband is awesome. Don't try to stop it. Oh, look at this guy. He looks fancy. Reminds me of an Edgar Allan Poe sort of character.
Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please.
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I am the head waiter at a Western style restaurant called Le Carnival.
Did he just cough up blood? Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some... I don't think that's wine. Ew, you cannot be my waiter!
It's a regular occurrence. It really doesn't bother me.
Well, it really should.
As everyone knows, the capital southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago.
Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once, sir.
And no petty interjections from an aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, screw off.
Oh, aspiring maybe, but aspiring?
It was just after 2 p.m. on the day in question. We had few diners at that time of day. The lunchtime rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly anyone else in the place. It was when I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery. A gunshot rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair, and standing immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student.
Yes! Ryanosuke, you just said yes. Like, you agreed to everything. You can't say hold on after you say yes to an agreement. Hold on. Let me just clarify something here. While I did pick up a gun that I found laying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him.
Objection!
I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to the witness's report of what he saw, you amateur.
But
The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant Naruhodo. Don't worry, Ryanosuke. You'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the witness.
being in court is so difficult.
If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man we see here in court today.
Yes, without question.
I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim?
No. There was no one else around that table but the deceased Englishman and a university student.
Huh? Wait, what did he just say? There was no one else around that table?
What's the matter, Ryanosuke?
That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello. Oh, there was a pretty bail. There was a woman sitting opposite him at the table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I've been warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Oh, I'm interjecting. Whatever happens, happens. There's no reason for me not to. Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day. I'm sure of it. There was a lady sitting with him at the same table.
Objection!
Dear me, dear me. What are we going to do with you? With your blatant disregard for court proceedings, I begin to wonder if you're not a fraud. Could it be that the accused, this mere student, is not a real lawyer after all?
No! I'm not a lawyer. And I never said I was a lawyer. I just said I do. That's it. But I'm sure of what I saw.
Hosonaga-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy.
Those glasses. He did the maneuver.
No. The deceased gentleman came to die alone.
I don't believe it.
I actually have a rough plan of the restaurant as it was that day. Please, have a look if you'd like to. Let me see. A sketch of the establishment's layout drawn by yourself, I presume. That's right. I'm afraid I used the back of my business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone.
The back of your business card, Mr. Waiter.
Well, you're clearly a very conscientious waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well. Is there a problem? Hand the plan to the court officer at once! Of course. Here you are.
What was that about? He's been completely calm and collected until now. That's true. He's not a waiter. That's it. I'm guessing it. Because he wrote it on the back of his business card and he's getting all shifty. Something certainly seems to have shaken him. I don't know. Even if that was to be the case, what the heck kind of job would he have where he'll be like shaken? I don't know. Can we just flip it over? Can I examine it? Waiter's business card. The hair waiter's business card. A sketch of the restaurant's layout is on the back. Can you stop getting your COVID germs all over the place? Thank you.
So, the court has now heard a process of the case.
Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant, the only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. It would seem we are looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency? If you admit your guilt at this stage, the court is willing to look mercifully upon you.
In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I called this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense, if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. The prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime.
What do you think I should do, Kazuma?
What do you mean?
Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? No! That is not the right way of doing things. Everyone keeps telling me that this trial is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikatoba said it, so has the judge and the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. This seems very intense for a first trial, that's for darn well sure.
As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? If the accused is in fact innocent, then a defense lawyer is duty bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. Are you just going to abandon that duty? Are you going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Ryunosuke.
True. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. We invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Oh my god, the first finger point of the game. I'm going to faint! I am so silly.
Indeed. Prosecutor Auchi, please continue with proceedings.
Tisk! Well, you were warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be a devil when I want to be.
Please, please don't.
In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses.
Very well. Officer, bring forth the witnesses at once.
Witnesses, plural, is so awesome. It's so awesome that you get to cross-examine multiple people at once. It adds a layer that having just one person doesn't really fully bring. However, everyone says mostly like one sentence, so it's kind of roughly the same. One person's going to be lying.
Witnesses, kindly state your names and occupations for the court.
Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army Sergeant Iyesa Nosa reporting for duty, sir.
I guess.
Myself, I find employee as a purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the effervescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Ratsute, a humble premises in the 2nd District. Kyurio Korikuta, at your service.
Kyurio Korikuta.
An antique dealer and a soldier. What an unusual pairing.
Both of these gentlemen were present at the restaurant on the day in question.
They must be the diners at the other table that the waiter mentioned.
Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post noon. and not infrequently converse with interested parties regarding the curios, with which I make my business.
I can't understand a word that old man is saying. He's an antique dealer, and it sounds like he's a regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have had an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares to them. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. Right, I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer.
Now, you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident. Is that correct?
Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the foreigner in what can only be described as an act of war. Sir! It was that black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearm, sir.
I think that I heard something in this game. I was talking over it though.
This man's as impossible to understand as the other. But I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Okay, it wasn't just me. It's nice to know. So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldier is claiming that he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead.
Yes.
Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now, the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred.
I hate to stop it here, but we're going to have to delve into the testimony within the next episode. If this is something that you're interested in seeing me play, let me know, please, down off in the comments with a like, something like that. I do know that with my Monster Hunter Stories playthrough, I had a lot of graphical issues and stuff, so I understand a lot of the dislikes for that. I stopped recording mostly to try to better myself with learning how to edit. Like, I have definitely been trying to learn how to edit. This doesn't really feel like the game I necessarily have to choppity chop and edit anything into, but I am learning how to do that. I have gotten a better grasp of doing that, and for the most part, I am going to start leaving reviews over me actually just doing Let's Plays. I think my Let's Plays are more so going to be story-based games such as this, where I could just read and have fun at, specific intervals and stuff. I like reading, even though I don't do it well. I know I don't do it well, but I still like reading. Plus, I get better at speaking out loud because that's something I don't normally do a lot of. So, with that said, I hope you guys are enjoying this because I know for darn well sure I am. And until next time, I hope you all have a great and wonderful day. Thanks so much for coming back and sticking this out with me. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.